Tuesday, December 25th. I'm Scott.
I'm Rim.
And this is Geeknights. Tonight, the Mario Tennis. Let's do this.
Well, it's Christmas.
Well, no one's going to be listening. Oh, I guess we are going to put the show up tonight, aren't we?
Yeah, why not? We could save this show for next week.
Oh, I forgot. I was confused for a second. I was like, oh, the show's not going up tonight. Oh, wait, yes, it is. No, it's not. Yes, it is. Right.
See, I think what confused you is that we're trying to record ahead.
Maybe. All right.
So, yeah, we're going to dispense with all that and get right to what's important in life, which is video games.
Oh, the video games, which I still am not playing enough of correctly.
You're playing plenty of video games. You sit down in the living room playing stupid Guitar Hero constantly.
I know. I need to go and beat that new Trauma Center and that Mario Galaxy and stuff, which I'm not doing.
Well, maybe if you stop playing Guitar Hero.
Maybe, but...
maybe if you practice your real harmonica.
But the plastic guitar is so much easier.
You know, the real harmonica, I can play songs on a harmonica much easier than you can beat Through the Fire, Through the Flames on Expert.
No, well, I can kind of almost beat it on hard, but I can beat a whole bunch of songs on hard.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
All right, anyway, so what do you got for me?
That's it? That's our opening bit? That was wonderful. Okay.
Oh, well, we do have the Dune game.
Oh, yeah.
We finally got a hold of that.
Yeah, kind of did a little eBay auction. Got it for 40-something bucks. We didn't talk about this last week?
I don't think we did. Not
No?
in any detail. We've played the Dune game finally.
Yeah, well, I think it might be a good game, but I think it's not a very good two-player game.
It's definitely not a good two-player game.
I mean, it says you can play a two-player, but it's lying.
Well, you see, what happened was Scott and I are going to play the Dune game. So, Scott picks the old ladies, and
I chose them at random, by the way.
Yeah, but then you deliberately chose the old ladies the second time.
Well, I said I thought that, since I was already familiar with the rules of the old ladies, that I could, play better on the second go after learning how to play from the first go.
Yeah, I think the Harkonnen can't lose in two-player.
I don't know. We should test it out and see, but they're pretty strong right away because they get fistful of cards for almost nothing, and they have a fistful of spice right away, and I have to, if I'm the old ladies, I have to fight to get spice and fight to get cards, and I really
fight for your right to spice.
It's really difficult.
I think what seals this game for me is that what so encapsulates the Dune universe is that you have this board, and it shows this planet, whatever, and there are only two piles of cards. You have spice, and you have treachery.
Yep.
Right, so what do you got in the news?
Okay.
Is that a better opening bit? You'd be happier with that?
No, okay, anyway. You know Impossible Mission? Not Mission Impossible, but Impossible Mission. You know that game?
I recall that game vaguely. I never really liked it.
It's one of those...
classic, amazing games that no one actually likes, but everyone talks about?
No one actually likes this game.
Okay.
It's incredibly impossible and difficult platforming game where there's, endless similar-looking hallways and doors and elevators and all sorts of shit like that. And the game is called Impossible Mission for a reason, because the game's basically impossible. And I didn't realize this, but it was originally on the Commodore 64, but the version I know is on the NES. And some people remember this game fondly, but it's one of those sort of He-Man things. Yeah, if you actually went back to play it, you'd realize that that was just childhood memories and not reality.
Ah.
But anyway, somebody's remaking this game, I think, for DS and Wii. And I think the DS version might already be out. But I think, actually, I'm sure that when it is out, even if it's out now, it's a GameStop exclusive. So you can only get this game at GameStop and nowhere else. I think that's sort of ass. Someone's making a game and only selling it at one store.
I don't want to go to GameStop. I like GameStop less and less as time goes on.
I know. Where were the Amazon exclusive video games? Help me out here.
Ah.
But yeah, I think that's pretty interesting. Someone's doing retailer exclusive video games now. It's kind of like, why do you even make it in the first place? How are you going to profit off that? I mean, they're selling it for $10. Maybe it was just a really cheap game to make. I don't know.
Maybe they figured they'd get some hype from the fact that it's only being sold at GameStop. I'm sure GameStop is trying to bundle it with all sorts of things.
Maybe, but...
Hey, check this out. Only $10. Hey, only $10. Check this out. $10.
But, who seriously is going to go to GameStop just for this game? That's the reason you have an exclusive thing, right? You have an exclusive game on the Xbox 360 because you want people to buy a 360 just for the game. You have an exclusive game in your store because you want people to come to your store just for that game. Who's coming to GameStop just for Impossible Mission DS?
Well, admittedly, the only thing I ever look at in GameStops nowadays is used games because I'm just gonna buy new games on eBay or on Amazon.
Yeah, selling GameStop is pretty much only useful for buying used stuff. It's not useful for selling used stuff because you get a better deal on eBay. But buying used stuff, it's more convenient than eBay, I guess. But yeah, GameStop.
I mean, what else? I'd say,
this isn't gonna get me to come to your store. You need like an exclusive, like Mario Galaxy GameStop only. Then maybe I'd come to GameStop.
I mean, I'd say, but you should go to a GameStop or something when a console comes out to get it early. But you can buy a console at Best Buy.
You can buy a console on Amazon and just wait.
I still remember when I was in Times Square and I tried to go buy some DS Lights and I saw the pile of Wiis and the people physically fighting over them. And just, is there a Wii? No, and they're totally sold out of DSs and everything. And then I go to a Radio Shack, not that far away from there, and there's Wiis and DS Lights.
Yep.
So, in other news, I stumbled upon this when I was looking for news to talk about, because I haven't really gone to Kotaku in a while. I just haven't had time to poke around the internet.
Gotta use the Google Reader, like everybody.
Even then, I don't subscribe, because I don't care enough. Very little of what Kotaku tells me is anything I would care about, unless...
That's true. I just don't read. Let's see how much... Let me check my Google Reader, and it will tell me how much of Kotaku I actually read.
The only time I read Kotaku or any site like that is, one, if I'm looking for something to talk about on Geeknights, or two, if I'm bored and seeking entertainment on the internet. And I have not been bored enough to seek entertainment on the internet in a while.
So, in forever, right, I've read 140 stories on Kotaku through my Google Reader. That's 11%. So, only 11% of Kotaku stories are actually read by me. The other 89% are ignored. Way to go, Kotaku.
Right. Well, they kind of have they're really the best source for that kind of news.
Yep.
But there's this game coming out on the PSP called Patapon.
Patapon?
And Patapon looks kind of... I feel like more and more I'm eventually going to be forced to buy a PSP.
What?
I mean, when I can pay $80 for a PSP, I'm probably going to buy a PSP.
Oh, by the time then, PSPs will be done for.
That's fine. And
maybe
then
you can just emulate PSP games.
I think the point is that I want to play them on the go. I could podcast with it still, I guess.
I guess, but you could podcast better with other things.
What, my iPod that doesn't have Wi-Fi?
Yeah, I know, right?
My cell phone that can't do podcasts?
The problem is it's too big, so it's like carry on this giant thing in your pocket, try to listen to MP3s on it.
Gotta get the PSP Slim.
It's still giant. It's not any less wide. It's just
this game
slightly thinner.
It's almost the same, from what I can tell, to that old SNES King Arthur game where it's kind of like Lemmings, but instead of helpless, stupid lemmings, you have knights and wizards, and you tell them to march right, and they fight with things and do stuff. But to control the game, instead of telling things what to do, it looks like you just have to play the right rhythm, and it's a rhythm game. And depending on how rhythmic you are, your soldiers will do different things.
That sounds pretty good to me. I mean, I looked at the screenshots of this game and I watched a little video, and it seems like, Sony in general is really, ever since Katamari, is really going after these games with the sort of cute graphic design and interesting gameplay. Like
it wasn't just then. Remember,
they got that Flow game.
Remember way before Viv Ribbon.
Yep, they got the Viv Ribbon. They got the Loco Roco. They got all those kind of games. Sony is really sort of fighting and doing everything they can to keep those games on their system. And really, those are the only games they have that I'm interested in. But I'm kind of interested in them, but not interested enough to actually buy a Sony console.
What this does show, at least, is that the PSP is a viable second place, which we've talked about how crazy that is before. But if you don't buy a PSP to play this game, but if you already have a PSP, you would better be playing this game once you can get it.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, other rhythm games out there like the DDRs and the Guitar Heroes, they're just sort of rhythm for the sake of rhythm. But games like this...
I mean, the thing is, this game is still... all it is, and we've talked about this before, what if you made a fighting game where you just do DDR, and depending on how well you dance, it just animates the whole fight, and this game could be something like that.
I think this is more like not how well you dance, but you do different dances to get the guy to do different moves.
The only thing that worries me is that the dances are basically limited to hitting buttons on your PSP.
Yeah, pretty much.
This game would have been better if it came with some sort of bongo, maybe some sort of plastic.
Well, you could play something like DK's, was it Jungle Beat, I think was the one?
Yeah.
Where we use the bongos to control Donkey Kong.
If this game were on, say, the Wii, and it came with a spear that you put the Wiimote in, and you had to shake the spear around and bang it on things.
No, that'd be all right.
Maybe bang the spear and shield together. It's very, I don't know, the game is very stylish in that kind of way that these sorts of games always are. And I got to admit, the kind of...
I could just see it now, a bunch of people playing multiplayer, 4 people with shields and spears, banging them on each other. Like that's
Shaka Zulu!
Like it's some sort of cave people, like ook, 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 and it makes the people on the screen do things. Ook, ook,
People
ook,
regress.
ook, 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 ook. Clang, clang, clang.
Of course, I think the much more important issue with having a bunch of spears and shields is that a kid's going to lose an eye pretty much immediately.
Pretty much.
After that expensive vase gets knocked over.
Ook. Smash vase.
Do.
Do.
B. Caveman B.
All right, how do we get from Patapon PSP to Caveman?
One thing I can say, though, that for a rhythm game, it's got some very catchy rhythms going.
Yeah, I was definitely rocking to those rhythms, for sure. I would love to get like a little soundtrack or something. That'd be fun time.
I don't know. I feel like it's the kind of music I could play in the background while I'm playing some other game to keep me concentrating.
Nah.
So, things of the day, B. Do. My thing of day, B. All right, fuck that.
Fuck it.
So, griefing is a time-honored tradition in first-person shooters.
Have we talked about griefing before?
If we haven't, I think we're going to do a show on it because griefing is really, really horrible and stupid, and it's this immature thing that a lot of people do. But at the same time, if you can, I guess, transcend it and not be annoyed by it, like if it happens and you don't freak out about it, and you can take it on this intellectual level, it is also hilarious.
It can be hilarious in the right situations. You know, like a guy killing someone, then killing them when they respawn, then killing them immediately when they respawn. That's not really funny.
It can be funny.
It can be funny if you've never seen it before, or if the idea of spawn camping itself was new to you. Then it would be funny.
Well,
like, oh, that's possible, lol. But once you understand the idea of spawn camping, it's no longer funny.
See, I understood the idea of spawn camping, but there was that one time when the cyber demon was spawn camping me and Ken while we were trying to beat Doom 2.
Okay, I guess in a particular crazy situation like that, it could be funny. Like, oh, an foreseen spawn camp situation, lol. But
no, you need to be a clever griefer. For example, I was playing a game of Counter-Strike once back when speed hacking was easy to do and rampant, especially if you had Windows 2000.
Yep.
So, we're on this server, and someone keeps accusing this one guy of cheating. He's like, fucking cheater, nah, and he's just yelling, and this guy's cheating. So finally, the guy's like, I'm not cheating, god damn it. And the guy's like, yes, you are. So the next round, the guy appears in our spawn immediately as the round begins and stabs us all to death before we can move. And he says, now I'm cheating, fucker.
Lol.
But I don't know. I always found speed hacks funny, even if they were really just annoying and griefing.
I think they're funny just because the way it looked when someone was speed hacking and Counter-Strike.
Like I'd be walking real slow. I stop at a corner. I yell, "All right, guys, come in." I come around the corner. I guys go knife, 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 knife.
Yeah. It was definitely the animation of the speed hack and the way it looked on the screen was funny, not the actual act of griefing with the speed hack itself.
Now, this video, my thing of the day, there's a chance it was completely staged, but I give it a 60% chance, maybe even a 70% chance of being fully legitimate.
Yep.
It looks like they got a couple of people on 2 different teams on the same server to collaborate for epic cross-team griefing.
Okay, so basically the first thing they do is they set up some teleporters, right? And they set up the teleporter exit. And then since they have buddies on the other team, they set up turrets aiming, this is Team Fortress 2, by the way, at the teleporter exits. So, of course, if you're on a team, you spawn, you go outside, there's a teleporter there. You go in it. A turret immediately kills you.
And eventually, I think my favorite moment in that is when this one guy's like, guys, don't use the teleporter with the guy with all the stupid name with all the squares in it. And then that guy's like, why? It goes right into the enemy base. He's like, yeah, and they got sentries on it. And then the guy, the engineer, the cheating, collaborating engineer, while stifling laughter says, no, those turrets are gone, man. Just go.
Yeah, he's like, if the turrets were there, they would destroy the teleporter. They wouldn't be there. Just go in the teleporter. Guy tells him the teleporter dies.
Ah! And that's only the beginning, and the epic lulls that follow are quite worth watching.
Well, the funniest part is they use this hack with the scouts to like, lock everyone in the spawn room, right? And then they sort of refuse to let. They could just, if that happens, you can just sort of change classes, and then everyone can get out. They refuse to do that, and they basically say, all right, everyone, we're going to do a little game show. You have to answer our quiz questions, and we'll let you out.
What organ of the body produces bile?
Yeah. You guys like gallbladder. You guys like, no, not the gallbladder, it's the liver, which is wrong, but it's pretty funny.
Actually, I think the best part of that is the one scout who's doing it, instead of immediately saying, all right, I'm fucking with you guys, time for a quiz show, he acts serious. He says, man, I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. And this one guy who doesn't get it is like, just kill yourself. But I don't want to mess up my stats. And the guy loses it.
Yeah.
The guy just loses it.
It's funny how these people like took it so seriously. Like, you moron, just freaking, unspawn. But at the same time, there's one thing, you just leave. If I'm on a server and someone's pulling shit like that, I just leave the server. It's funny how no one leaves the server. They just keep fighting the griefers.
Well, at the same time, if you're in the middle of a good game, and it's almost fun when a clever griefer is there. It's whenever anything weird happens in a multiplayer
But this guy
video
is
game.
clearly not having fun with the griefer. He's clearly upset. I mean, I would stay if I was having fun with the griefer. But if I wasn't, I would leave. This guy's clearly not having fun, yet he's saying.
But it's funny and it's worth watching.
Yeah, it's been around the net for like a day or so.
Well, we're not news. We're commentary.
Yeah. All right, so check this video out. It's called Mario Troid. Basically, it looks to me like it's hard to tell exactly what the story is with this thing, but it's pretty obvious.
Oh, I thought you were going to do the Blades of Steel thing. You'll have to save that.
We'll save that, yeah. The guy took Mario and he took Metroid and he sort of combined them. And it's definitely a Mario game where you're controlling Mario, but he can double jump like Samus, but he jumps the way Mario jumps, but he sort of has a double jump. And then he can also has like permanent firepower, and he might be invincible. I can't really tell. It's hard to tell from the video if he's invincible or not, or how much life he has.
I don't think it matters at all. This is not a game you would actually play. He basically made this hack just to create a cool video to look at on the internet.
Yeah, and it's Mario, but like in a Metroid world, and all sorts of crazy stuff happens. I mean, it's a really good mashup of Mario and Metroid, ROM hack kind of deal.
It is impressive looking.
It's very impressive. And then at the end, there's an awesome boss thing. I mean, it's a little long. Like, you'll get bored of it after you watch it for a minute or two. So then just skip to where the boss is, and you see the Metroids and stuff, and the boss is quite exceptional.
Little baby Metroids.
Yeah, little baby Metroids. And then you skip, and the awesomeness at the end, and then that's it. But this is worth 5 minutes of your time if you like Marios or Metroids or combinations thereof.
Right. So I don't think we've actually ever talked about this, I guess, franchise, this series of games. But Mario Tennis has a long and illustrious history in the Front Row crew.
Well, most people don't realize this. The very first Mario Tennis game, do you know what it was for?
I believe it was for the Virtual Boy.
Oh, it was indeed for the Virtual Boy. It was a, quote, 3D game with only two colors of red and black.
Man, if any of you have ever played a Virtual Boy, I gotta say, well, if you haven't, I guess, I
imagine most listeners have not played a Virtual
I have.
Boy. I have also. In fact, I played Mario Tennis in a Toys R Us on a Virtual Boy.
I played every game for the Virtual Boy.
Wow.
Every single one.
How'd you do that?
Because they had them all for play at Meyer.
Oh, okay.
And a friend of mine to this day owns his Virtual Boy.
Yep. I have a friend who also owns a Virtual Boy.
He got it for Christmas right after it came out, played it for like a week, got a headache every time he played it, never played it again. But one thing I can say, the 3D effect was actually pretty damn impressive.
It was. It actually looked, when you were playing Mario Tennis on the Virtual Boy, it actually looked like Mario was very close to you, and the other guy was very far away from you, and it was sort of a ball level view of the game, and it was good stuff.
Yeah, and not the bad ball level, the good ball level.
Right. But then again, that Mario Tennis was not exactly a great game.
Well, it could have been. It was a pretty good game. The problem was that the Virtual Boy was an abortion, to put it lightly.
Lightly?
We'll talk about the Virtual Boy someday and exactly what the deal was there, but
yeah, Virtual Boy.
It's an important part of Nintendo history.
Regardless, there was also the original Tennis for the NES, which is a terrible game. Terrible, absolutely unplayable. Don't even bother with it. For for the Super Nintendo, not really so much tennis going on.
Are you kidding? I forget what it was called, but there was one really awesome tennis game.
What?
I didn't know. I think it had it was an Andre Agassi or something. I'll have to look it up. But all I remember is when I was a kid, Children's Palace went out of business. They were like, it used to be there were 2 toy stores in America.
Yep.
Toys R Us and Children's Palace.
Yep.
And Children's Palace went under. So
Children's Palace was a crap hole.
Children's Palace was nice, actually.
Ours was a shithole.
Ours was really nice.
I remember when they were going out of business and we went there was just toys just all over the floor everywhere. It was a madhouse.
Well, that's because it was going out of business.
I'm just saying before then, though, it was still it wasn't much messier when it was going out of business than when it wasn't.
When it was going out of business, my family and I, it hit the point where finally there was an ad on TV one day that said, next week, Children's Palace, for the last week of its existence, 70% off everything in the store.
Video games, video games, video games.
So of course, I was there with my family in that chaos. It was amazing that no one died.
Yeah.
It was just yelling and screaming and people knocking over shelves and rooting through things that had fallen off. But we bought like $1,000 worth of toys.
Good God.
Well, $1,000 before the discount. So.
All right.
But at one point, I remember we went to the Nintendo section first, as did every kid who was smart, and there was nothing there. Now everyone else went, ah, and I said, wait a minute. I was here when the store opened, and I didn't see anyone checking out. There is no way that someone got here before me. They are somewhere in this store. And sure enough, there was a hidden part of the store where all the Nintendo and Super Nintendo games they had left were. We bought one of every unique game. That's where I got Populous. I got this tennis game. I got SimCity. And I got a pile of games.
Shitty games. Some of them good, I guess.
Populous was a pretty damn good game.
Populous DS is coming.
I think I knew that, but I'd forgotten.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
All right.
Anyway.
So, Super Nintendo, I guess there were tennis games. I never played any of them, and none of them were, I guess, epically famous or anything. And it wasn't until the N64 they came out with Mario Tennis for the N64. There's also some Game Boy Color and Advance versions. We don't care about those. But yeah, Mario Tennis for the N64 was quite the game.
I mean, that game, along with Smash Brothers, I think, started a whole new, I'd almost call it a genre of sports games.
Yeah, it's sort of like, it was like a party game, yet it was also a sports game, yet it was a Mario game.
Yep, because Smash Brothers had the same thing. It was a party game, but it was a fighting game, but it was a Mario game.
Yep, and it basically, the game had a full loadout of characters of all different kinds. You know, some were fast, some were slow, some hit hard, some hit not so hard. Some were big, some were small. Some could do tricky stuff, some couldn't do tricky stuff. Some controlled really nicely, some controlled really slippery. It was very well balanced across all the characters. You could play in your own style. It was actually a lot more complex than just hit the ball back and forth. You know, you could hit the ball different ways with different shots, and there was actually a strategy to it. And doubles play worked really well, and just everything about it was terrific. I mean, it was basically, it's a tennis game, but really, it's the evolution of Pong. I mean, Pong was supposed to be table tennis. This is basically Pong, except you also you can move closer and farther away from the center line, which is the net, and you have to actually push a button to hit the ball, otherwise it goes past you.
This game was like one of the best party games ever when it came out. I never even owned an N64, but I knew about this game. And when we were at RIT, actually, long into the GameCube era, pretty much right up until the GameCube Mario Tennis came out, every time we ran an event, anytime we had a social night, any sort of video game, anything, pretty much the most popular game was Mario Tennis for the N64.
Yep, we'd have a doubles trash talk Mario Tennis tournament all the time, and it was great fun. It never failed.
Now, granted, the trash talk was probably the most important element of the Mario Tennis tournament.
Yeah, because the thing is, once you're good enough at Mario Tennis, it sort of becomes a very even game of, deuce, advantage, deuce, advantage, deuce.
I mean,
one game there, one game here, one game there, one game here.
Scott and I have not played in a long time, and before we did the show, just now, we pulled out Mario Tennis for the GameCube. the current best tennis game in the world, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Other than, I don't know, tennis.
Well, there's that Virtua Tennis,
Eh.
which is supposedly, I guess that's the best realistic tennis game if you want one.
Yeah, but the thing is, realism and fun can coincide, but don't always coincide.
No, but I know I've played those Virtua Tennis games, and they're pretty good. They're not bad.
But Mario Tennis just has the perfect level of simplicity coupled with the perfect level of complexity to make it just great. But we played it, and it was pretty much neck and neck the whole time. And Scott barely won the first set, and then I barely won the second set. So great. It's like we didn't even play.
I
Now we're
got
starting
screwed
over.
because during one of the tie breaks, I was up on top the whole time, and I couldn't get down to the bottom, and it sucked.
See, I can actually do better at the top than you do for some reason. I'm
Yeah,
okay
I'm
with
not
it.
so good at the top. See, that is something about Mario Tennis, right? Because you're only playing with one screen, right? It's one television. Everyone is sharing it, right? If you play multiplayer, someone's going to be on the top half of the screen trying to hit the ball down, and someone's going to be at the bottom half of the screen hitting the ball up. It's much easier to play when you're on the bottom of the screen hitting the ball up. Now, of course, if you play enough games and sets, it rotates you, so you take turns being on top and bottom. But still, being on top is kind of it's not sucky. It's just not as good as being on bottom. And ideally, there would be some way to play this game, perhaps with the DS, where everyone could always be on bottom from their perspective. Yeah,
I don't know if we could also have a some sort of Wi-Fi game where we could play it with two Wii's.
Maybe. Yeah, some Wi-Fi Wii Mario Tennis. That
See,
wouldn't
the
be
thing
too
is,
bad.
normally this is the part of the show where I talk about how a Wi-Fi tennis could be great, but I know Nintendo's going to totally fuck that up and not make it worth a damn.
Yep, of course.
Nintendo's online play is a joke. It's laughable. It's worthless.
Pretty much. I mean, like, what? DS Wi-Fi. Tried it when it came out, and since then, yeah, pretty much ignoring all Nintendo
Well, I remember I
Wi-Fis.
played Mario Kart on the Wi-Fi, and everyone I played against quit as soon as I beat them, and it just wasn't fun.
Nope.
Well, also then, after about a month, you couldn't even start a game because no one played anymore.
Yep. Maybe you could play right now, but
I don't even know where my Mario Kart is.
I have.
I'm done with that
I have
game.
mine, but yeah, I'm done with that game also. Anyway, so Mario Tennis. What's this game like? Well, first, basically, here's how it's complex, but it's not too complex to be, stupid, right? So, what are the controls? You have A and B. That's it, all right? You push A to hit the ball one way, and you push B to hit the ball the other way. But if if you're, depending on where your person is, your character is in relation to the ball, they'll do like a backhand or a forehand. So it's like, if you want the ball to hook to the left, you have to you learn it pretty quickly. It becomes intuitive, like, if you should push A or B to get the ball to go the way you want it to go.
Well, that is one thing that I think this is what makes Mario Tennis really shine, is that most tennis games were either really simple to the point of not even being fun.
Yeah, it was just Pong, but you had to push a button.
Or they were so complex that, well, to do a backhand, you want to hold right and hit B, but to do a forehand, you want to hold left and hit A after you've stopped moving, and to do it blah, 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 blah. And those games were just impossible to play and not fun. Mario Tennis boiled it down to this somewhat intuitive system, and even better, if you don't know the system exists, if you just pick up a controller and play Mario Tennis having no idea how
You'll
it
just
works,
keep hitting A and always do the A shot.
or B, or A and B, and no matter what you hit, the game's gonna work okay. It's like there's multiple levels you can play the game at.
But someone who knows all the buttons is going to own you, because they're always going to hit the ball far away where you can't reach it every time, and you're going to be screwed.
Yep, and there's basically, the game boils down to the front-back game and the left-right game, much like real tennis.
Yep, you're either trying to hit the ball over the guy's head when he's very close to the net, or just over the net onto the ground when he's far away from the net, or when he's to the right, hit it to the left. When he's to the left, hit it to the right. And that's pretty much all there is
God,
to
I
it.
used to play tennis with Luke, actual tennis, back at RIT, and I remember that my strategy to win was pretty much hit it to the left and right to make him run back and forth until he was too tired to play.
Yeah, that's how
It
you
worked
play
really
tennis.
well.
That's the only way to. That's how tennis works.
Nah, really.
No.
No.
And that's how Mario Tennis works,
No.
except for the tired part.
Now, Scott seems to always play Boo, which sometimes bites him in the arse, because Boo, the doubles play we'll get to, but in single play, Boo has some substantial drawbacks.
Well, he's kind of slow, right? So the problem here is that if you play in a court with a fast ball speed, Boo will sort of get owned because there's not much he can do to go after the ball because he's so slow. So
Scott, whenever he wants to play against us, always wants to use the slow-ass courts.
That's right. Slow court is best for Boo because Boo has the trickiest shots. If Boo gets the ball, he can't hit it particularly hard, but he can always hit it in some tricky place and totally screw you up. He'll get you to come right up in front of the net, and then he'll hit it way over the back of your head. And then, what can you do? Nothing.
Of course. Some people prefer to use the Kid Koopa, who just, as I
Sucks.
recall, in the most recent game, beat Boo pretty handily. It wasn't even a tiebreak in the third set.
It doesn't matter. It was... First of all, we won the same number of games. I won 17 games.
Yeah, but
you
all
won
that
17
matters in
games.
tennis is who wins the number of sets to get the match.
I know.
And I won 2 sets, and there was no tiebreaker in that last set.
Yeah, it was still bullshit. Anyway.
Oh, yes, it was
Considering the
bullshit.
fact that it was Boo in singles, who has a significant disadvantage in singles, and I won the same number of games as you.
Playing on that slow court.
No, that was the normal court.
Yes.
For your information, not the slow court.
Play on the fast court, see how you do.
I won't be Boo. That's
You play
for
a
sure.
very specified, specific use character.
I'd be probably Paratroopa or Yoshi or somebody.
See, I always play Kid Koopa no matter what.
It's because Kid Koopa's sort of all aroundish.
Well, no, because I like Kid Koopa. When it comes to games like that, I pretty much always choose the character I like the most, and then whatever style that character plays in, I'll just play in that style.
That's what I do too, except for, sometimes I pick the character I like the most, Boo. But occasionally, there'll be a situation where that character can't win. And in those cases, I won't pick the
in
character.
those cases, I'll keep playing my man.
So you just lose on purpose.
No, because that I have dedication, and it increases my skill. And if I do win, epic.
Yeah, what if you know that there's absolutely no chance of winning in the current set of circumstances with the character you like?
There's no Nintendo game that's like that except Mario Kart, and it just so happened that in Mario Kart for the DS, the character I liked was Drybones, who happens to be the unbeatable character.
Good for you.
Yes, very good for me.
I think the thing is, what if there was a situation in which there was a course in which Drybones could not possibly win? Would you pick Drybones on that course?
Yes.
All right. Anyway, so you hit A and B. One is like forehand, one's backhandish, or like top spin and backspin, or whatever they want to call it. But you can also go A-B. Like you push A and then B really quickly. Not at the same time, but one after the other, like A-B. If you do that, you'll do this sort of lob move that hits it way up in the air and over the other guy's head.
Or BA is, it'll come in
BA
up short.
is-
You can also go AA and BB and do like power shots or
Oh,
power
really?
slices.
You
Yeah.
can- that's right. If you do that, it's sort of a charge-up shot. And
Yep.
yeah, that's right. You charge it up and let it
Maybe
go.
that's why I won.
Maybe. But in, what's it called? In the original Mario Tennis, not the original, but the N64 Mario Tennis.
The real original. We're not going to bother. Pretend the
Yeah.
Virtual Boy one doesn't
As
exist.
far as I'm concerned, there's 2, N64 and GameCube, and that's it. And Wii in the future. In that one, there was always a problem where people would charge up their shots by accident, and then when you're charging up, you can't really move. So people would miss and be like, fuck, I didn't want to charge up.
There's a secret way around that
If
I
you
didn't know
push
for a long
Z,
time.
you cancel the charge.
No one knows that. If you're ever in a Mario 64 tennis tournament, hit Z. Or, as my strategy was, I just held Z down all the time.
Oh, so you never charged up?
No, never. And I did okay.
Yeah, it's not bad. But yeah, you'll never charge up by accident that way. In the GameCube one, charging up by accident is much less of a problem.
It can happen.
But
It happened to me like 4 times.
But it can indeed happen. But then again, charging up on purpose can provide you with quite the powerful shot that can't be returned.
Yeah, these games are just fantastic. Now, these GameCube one had these power shots, these like power-up charge shots.
Yeah, like super moves, like the tennis equivalent of Hadouken or Hurricane Kick.
And they also have the beginner, normal, and advanced mode in terms of how to control those things. I don't want to talk about how the game works too much, but basically, you got these offensive and defensive power moves, and the offensive move makes it very likely you're going to score. The defensive move saves your ass.
Yeah, like if someone hits the ball way over your head, there's no way you can get it, but you have a special move ready, use it. And even if, they return it for the score, you did the best you possibly could have. You returned the ball one more time, and you were going to lose it anyway. You might as well go for it.
Yep. Now, a lot of people claim that the moves are BS. A lot of people complain that by using those moves or by having those moves in there, they'll say, oh, you only got the point because you had your stupid power charged up. But
you get the power charge at the same time.
Well, actually, no, you
can
don't.
also use taunts.
You don't get it at the same time.
Relatively the same. Because
Not
it's a number of return thingies.
That's not the only factor, Scott.
I know, but it's the most important
No,
factor.
it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
It is.
Okay, I'll show you on GameFAQs exactly what it is. But anyway, the deal there is that you'll get in pretty much the same amount, and you can use taunts to remove the power from people. So anyone who complains about that is just full of crap. If you got a point because of a power shot, that means that you were managing your power shots more effectively.
Yep. It's sort of like you have a power meter, but it's not a visible power meter, but you can sort of figure out how it works, and you'll know when you're going to get a power shot, and it's very rare that, someone else will have power shots and you won't get them, soon enough to save yourself.
Now, the true beauty of this game is the doubles play.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when we did these Trash Talk tournaments, we never did single play. We wanted to force people to pair up into groups of two to make these anime fans talk to each other a little bit.
Yep.
So we did a lot of things like blindfolded monkey ball, where one person's blindfolded and the other person just tells them what to do.
That's good stuff. Left, right, right.
No! But when it came to Mario Tennis, this formed some interesting, because we ran this at pretty much every event we ever had, and certain teams started emerging, and there you'd see like the broken alliances, or you'd see, the one friend being like, hey, we're signed up for the Mario Tennis tournament, right? I already signed up, and I'm playing with Pete, because you suck.
Oh, burn.
And of course, whenever the game actually starts playing in doubles, I've noticed something. Whenever anyone misses a point or loses, it's never their fault. It's always the partner's fault.
Exactly. Like, if someone misses the ball when it's coming at them, they'll say, you weren't behind me covering me. And if the other person just misses it straight out, they'll be like, oh, you got in my way. You were all up on the ball.
And that's what made the trash talk so great, because we'd play it and we'd make a point of saying, all right, you have to trash talk. That's the point of this. And we'd even do it where, like, the semifinals and the finals, instead of being off in whatever room, we're in the main room on a big projector. We have a big crowd of people watching. And pretty much by the time you got to the final rounds, there would be almost no trash talk directed at all between the teams. The trash talk was directed almost entirely within the teams.
It's the beauty of the doubles play is that you sort of, even if both people are really good, you have to coordinate. You either have to play front and back or left and right. One person gets all the stuff on the left side of the court and the other person gets all the stuff on the right side of the court.
Well, that's a very basic pedestrian strategy.
It is. Well, you have to at least, cover different parts of the court. If you both get right up on the front, you're in trouble playing against someone good, But you have to cover the whole court with two people. And coordinating which parts of the court you're going to cover, as the game progresses is not you don't unless you're Siamese twins sharing the same brain in some way, it's not going to be very easy.
And then there was Team Scott.
Oh, Team Scott, undefeated, I think, still.
I have a feeling that one of the Scotts will drag it down if you ever play again.
I don't know about that. Especially since Boo is far superior in doubles play because he doesn't have to run around so quickly. So you have one person with a really fast character going around, making all the returns that are really hard to make, that are hitting way to the left or way to the right. But when the other team hits a nice easy shot right to Boo, tricky shot, haha, you can't return it.
Is Team Scott going to have to demonstrate this at the New Year's party?
Maybe they'll have to be some Mario Tennis at the New Year's party.
Maybe we should just have a Mario Tennis tournament at our party.
I think maybe we should.
I think we will. We're going to have.
But maybe
Geeknights,
we won't play Team Scott because I don't know about the other Scott.
See, notice how I didn't
maybe
say.
I'll have to pick a better partner than.
Who are you gonna pick?
I don't know. I'll watch everyone play and then pick who's the best.
Because
I know I'm the first best, so I have to find out who's the second best.
Yeah, you're the first best, but I won the most recent game.
How about you and me first?
That wouldn't be fair. So
who's the most fun?
I was very diplomatic in my stating of maybe half of Team Scott is not as good as it should be, but you're pretty open in your trash talk of the other Scott.
That's how it has to be with Mario Tennis. Wide open trash talk. If you keep it in, you're ruining the game.
See, at the same time, when Scott and I were playing, because we hadn't played in a long time, I definitely engaged in my post-talk trash talk.
You always do the, yeah.
I pretty much sat there through the whole game, real quiet, just playing. And when I was losing, I'd just be like, when I was winning, I'd be like, and right about through the last 2 games of the final set, match point, is when suddenly the, hey, Scott, how you doing there? Boo keeping up? Boo getting tired?
Yeah,
Not going to make it?
Boo's a little tired. Maybe we shouldn't have played 6-game sets.
That's what you're supposed to do.
I know, but it was so long.
Now, there's all this other shit in the new Mario Tennis
Yeah,
game.
in the GameCube one, there's all this extra bonus modes and courts that do weird stuff. And, there's always the ability to enable star. If you beat the game with a character, you can play that character with star power, which basically means they'll hit harder, move faster, etc., etc. And if you both have star power, if every player playing has star power, it does change the game, and it's still even. It's not unfair, but it's not quite the same as just playing normally, and it's not as good.
In some ways it is. It's very high-powered advanced play, as in, if you're playing that way, someone who isn't skilled at the game pretty much will never get a point.
Yeah.
Ever.
But then again, if some person has star power and the other person does not, the star power person has this ludicrous advantage. They can move so fast and hit so hard, the normal non-star player basically can't compete.
But see, at the same time, the great thing about Mario Tennis is that if you get a great player and a bad player together, the bad player will every now and then they'll still do okay. It's like the worst you can be at Mario Tennis is a lot higher than you expect. So pretty much anyone who ever plays a Mario Tennis game will always have a good time.
Yep.
Unless you're not a human being.
The other thing about Mario Tennis is I think the AI is really good at controlling the players. It's bad when you're playing doubles and you have a friend the other person on your team is AI controlled because you can't coordinate with them, and that sucks. But as an opponent, the AI isn't half bad. And actually, when you can beat the hardest settings of AI, the ace setting, it's beatable if you're really good. It's just also really hard, and I think that's exactly how it's got to be. There's 5 different levels of AI difficulty, and the easiest is impossible to lose to, but you can lose to it if you're a moron. And the hardest is possible to beat, but you can only beat it if you're awesome. And everything else is perfectly in between where it belongs.
You know what? Team Scott's going to have to compete because I already picked my partner.
Who? AI Ace?
No. I just thought back to a time, a simpler time before we podcasted where our friend Pete moved to Albany and I went up there to visit and we played some Mario Tennis and I discovered that
he's not bad at the Mario Tennis.
Oh, I'm not talking about Pete. He's not going to be on my team.
Oh.
God, no.
Oh, that's a diss. You're
a
little open with your trash talk there.
I discovered that there are other people in that former household who were very good at Mario Tennis.
Are you going to go that way, huh?
And I think I remember we were playing with one of the gimmicks, so they're the alligators.
See, I think this is the other great thing about Mario Tennis is that unlike so many other games we have, like say Soul Calibur, right? Maybe I guess a lot of us are good at Soul Calibur, but a few people are so much better, right? With Mario Tennis, it's complex enough to be a fun, awesome game. But it's simple enough that people get good at it, and enough people have mastered it because it's not so incredibly difficult. And thus, it actually makes a really good tournament game because a lot of people, who have played it at all, are great at it. And tournaments are the most fun when you have a ton of people who are all awesome or equally awesome, or you're unsure how equally awesome they are. And even if someone's better than someone else, it's by such a small margin that you're still on the edge of your seat throughout the whole tournament.
See, Mario Tennis is a great spectator sport, actually. I mean,
it is.
If you're an anime club or some sort of college club out there or whatever, and you need some sort
Video
of fundraiser,
game club, tennis
just
club.
run a Mario Tennis doubles trash talk tournament and make a big deal about the championship. You got to pump everyone up. You make a big, this is the championship. Have a big projector, bring the 2 teams out, 1 member at a time, talk to them a bit. You can do something pretty epic.
Yep. The thing is, I'm worried about Mario Tennis Wii, right? Because
if they use the waggles, it's going to ruin that game.
Well, it depends. I mean, I could see good waggles and I could see bad waggles.
I cannot see a good waggle.
I could see a good waggle.
Maybe waggle to activate powers.
I see good waggle is swing to the right for the A and swing to the left for the B. You see?
Maybe.
Something like that I think could work. But it's going to be rough because if they try to make it full on like Mario for Wii Sports Tennis, that's not going to be good.
Wii Sports Tennis wasn't full on. Wii Sports Tennis was barely a game.
That's what I'm saying. But if they try to make it just controllers with no waggle, then it'll basically why just play the GameCube one? Why should I?
Well,
play
because
the
they'll
Wii
probably make it. I mean, you could say that. Why not play the N64 one? Because the GameCube one was just incrementally better.
It was incrementally better.
I mean, it's not like other games where, say, Mario 2 is worth playing in and of itself because it's a different game from Mario 3. There's really no reason to play Smash Bros. 64 or Mario Tennis 64 if you have the GameCube ones. Just no reason.
There's different arenas and stuff.
There's no real reason. It's just an incremental improvement.
There's some reason.
The game is better in every way.
It is quite better in almost every way.
There's really no reason to go back except for a kind of historical, this is what these games used to be.
You're right, there is not a reason to play Mario Tennis in the 64 if you have a GameCube or a Wii. There just really isn't. I mean, except to see what it was like. Because it was still a good game, but the Mario Tennis of the GameCube was just better. It's the same game, but better in every way. So,
So yeah, there's going to be a tournament at the New Year's party.
Oh no.
Which is this weekend.
Oh no.
I've chosen my partner. If Wyatt will step up, Wyatt will be my partner.
I don't know why you don't want to play with me. We just win.
Because I think that you have to defend the honor of Team Scott. And possibly...
Are you going to force it? Are you going to force it?
I don't think I'm going to force it, but you get to decide if the honor of Team Scott... I mean... Would Rocky walk away from a challenge? Would Rocky say, no, I'm not going to box you. You're too good. Or is he going to step up and say, all right, I'm going to box?
I think what you've decided is that you know that you and me are pretty equal, and you're pretty sure that we're the best, and we've played the game most recently.
So I chose the second best person, I think.
I don't know. You know what? Maybe I can get the other Scott to practice his Mario Tennis.
He's got like 3 days.
That could be enough. It only takes like a couple plays to get back in top form. We'll see what happens.
Right. If anything, we might have some content to put up from the New Year's involving this at the end.
Oh, no.
I think we might force everyone to do some pre-hawk trash talk.
Force everyone to pre-hawk trash talk?
Yeah.
Great. So now no matter what, whether you win or lose, you're going to have to say you're going to win.
Well, except me.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say it right now. I'm going to win. Whatever team I'm on, we're going to win this tournament.
Oh, snaps.
Oh, snap. Because no one else is good enough.
Oh, snaps. What's going to happen when you lose?
I'm not going to lose.
No, I just said what's going to happen when you lose. Not if, when.
Oh, yeah. So our New Year's party.
Yeah.
We should probably get the rest of the stuff together for that.
Probably.
All right. That's the end of the show tonight. Merry Xmas.
Ding dong.
This has been Geeknights with Rim and Scott. Special thanks to DJ Pretzel for the opening music.
Be sure to visit our website at www.frontrowcrew.com, where you'll find show notes, links, our awesome forum, a link to our Frapper map, and links to all the RSS feeds.
We say feeds plural because Geeknights airs 4 nights a week, covering 4 different brands of geekery. Mondays are science and technology. Tuesdays, we have video games, board games, and RPGs. Wednesdays are anime, manga, comic nights. And Thursdays are the catch-alls for various rants and tomfoolery.
You can send us feedback by email to geeknights@frontrowcrew.com. Or you can send audio feedback via Audio. Just click the link that says Send Me an Audio on the right side of our website.
If you like what you hear, you can catch the last 100 episodes in iTunes or in your favorite podcatcher. For the complete archives, visit the website, which has everything.
Geeknights is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial Share-alike 2.5 license. This means you can do whatever you want with it as long as you give us credit, don't make money, and share it in kind. Geeknights is recorded live with no studio and no audience. But unlike those other late shows, it's actually recorded at night.